Yeah. Now then, people, it's Joe, it's All Leeds TV, and it is time for an opposition preview. We didn't do one last time out because we all know who we played, and we're not really friends with that team across the Pennines, so we didn't decide to do one. But there's another big game coming up this Saturday for Leeds United fans. We're up against, one of the top sides, one of the top 6 sides in the division in Tottenham. So we thought we'd do a preview and get some friends in who are also in the YouTube game, and we can have a chat about Tottenham. But first of all, Oscar, how are you, my friend?
I'm not bad at all, mate. I'm not bad at all. Still dreaming of Rafinha just cutting in on his left foot and just pinging one in, just like prime Gareth Bale. Prime Gareth Bale, wasn't it? It's. I mean, man, it was what a performance it was yesterday for us.
Yeah,
5-0, and we took off. We can't just let it stroll in the second half, didn't we? I mean, we probably could have won it by more, but look, we have to accept 5 goals is good enough. But, look, superb, mate, superb. Going to this one full of confidence for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so
not overconfident.
I'm breaking it if I'm being totally honest. I know Tottenham. Yeah. I'm breaking it to be honest. But let's bring in our guest. We've got Elena from the LilyWhiteTV. How are you, love? All right?
I'm good. Yeah, a bit nervous for this game, but yeah, I'm good. How are you all?
Yeah, all good. We've just won 5-0, so we're bouncing. At the minute.
You must be buzzing.
Yeah. And we've got Matt Hayes as well. Some people that watch our stuff might recognise Matt Hayes' name from the comments. He's normally throwing his stats in left, right, and centre, so he watches what we do. So we thought we'd get him back. How are you, Matt? All right?
Yeah, I'm all good. Bit disappointed we had our game postponed tonight, but we're all rested up for a comfortable victory on Saturday.
Yeah, and just on that as well, because I wasn't sure myself, and just in case any Leeds fans are watching and they're not sure on the reason for the postponement. What was the reason for obviously due to COVID, but it's more the Fulham side as opposed to the Tottenham side, right?
Hopefully,
yeah. I think Fulham recorded a few positive cases yesterday. I think it was 4 backroom staff and 1 player, and they had more tests today, and there was more positive cases, so they requested it was called off. So Tottenham are all good. It's just on the Fulham side of things.
Yeah, I think, am I right in saying, Elena, Mourinho put up an Instagram post saying best league in the world or something? We're waiting.
And she's brilliant on his. So she's brilliant. Talkers brilliant on social media. Not sure could say the same on the pitch right now, but I'll be talking later.
Yeah.
He's brilliant at that. That's what I always say. He's brilliant at buying me with that.
Yeah, good man. Elena's got a bit of an axe to grind for Mourinho, so we're just gonna keep her there and let it build until she
let me get angry.
Goes. Yeah, that's the plan. Let you get angry, and then you can just go off on Mr. Jose. Yeah, good times. But yeah, I mean, just on that, guys, as well, Oscar, I don't know, we've seen a few people mention about the possibility of maybe, I know the Premier League have come out and said it's not going to happen, but is there a realistic possibility that this season might get stopped like it did previously, do you think?
I mean, you look at it, I think Gary Neville was spot on. It hurts to say that, but he's spot on about a lot of things, to be fair. Actually, no doubt about it. But he said that what's the point of a circuit break? Because the teams will still need to train together. If we're going to have a 3-week break, it's not like we can have 3 weeks off and say, okay, no joint training sessions. We go back again in 3 weeks and just get straight back on with the games. It's rubbish. You still got to go out and train. You've still got to go out and train and mingle in that way. And so yeah, I don't know. I think it's absolute rubbish, to be fair, mate. I think obviously the problem was last season. There was such a big break. It's caused the congestion. It's caused the congestion in fixtures going into this season. The 3-month break you saw in the Bundesliga. You had like a month off, straight back into it, and they've got a nice spread of games in that sense. But for us, I mean, we're playing pretty much, as it is. I think we're playing twice a week now for the next 2 months. I think it is. I don't know if Matt's the stat. So it's the next 2 months. It's about 9 or 10 Premier League games, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy stuff, and of course the FA Cup is mixed up in there as well. And as soon as that period ends, you'll have some of those teams going into European football, and the international breaks coming back in March then as well. So usually this is a stage of the season where things will die down a bit, but the congestion just continues all the way through.
It can't be done. It can't be done. Really,
no, it can't. Yeah.
Without stopping the Euros, and I've got tickets to the Euros, so that's obviously not an option. It's not an option doing that.
I'm going to call it now, mate. You might as well throw them tickets in the bin because you won't be able to go. So that's sorry to dash your hopes, mate. But I think
just 1-5. No, you didn't have to dash me hopes like that.
But we also seen as well yesterday a little bit of fallout off the Leeds United social media after they retweeted Karen Carney's comments on Amazon. We've got some neutrals, not Leeds United fans. So I just thought we would ask them the question just on what their thoughts were on the fact that Leeds tweeted it out, having a go at the comments, and how it's been perceived by some of the, the media. And Eleanor, what's your thoughts on the whole, I guess, the Twitter war or whatever you want to call it that's been waged at Leeds over the last 24 hours?
I mean, I expect the Leeds admin to act a bit more professional and maybe not tweet something like that, because obviously it is going to draw hate to her. Okay, it's not their fault she is a woman. She will get different hate because she said something and she is a woman. But I don't think they meant it in a sexist way. They Leeds have called out other reporters in the past. It's not a man-female thing. I don't think it was sexist, but I just think, they could have acted more professional, because she is going to get a whole bunch of trolls now due to the fact she is a woman. I mean, obviously, I do think trolls do happen to male as well, but I just think obviously it's different when you're a female, coming from a female myself in talking in football. So I do think obviously they should have acted a bit more professional, but I don't really think they meant it in the sexist way that some people may have taken it. But I do think that, they could have acted a bit better, because it's not really fair to draw that much attention to her. Yeah. Oscar, anything you want to add?
I'd have to totally agree, to be fair. I think the only thing I'd say is that what annoys me a little bit is you've got people with the blue tick Twitter, I think it's being called now, the blue tick brigade, who have kind of said, it's this and that. For me, a lot of people, again, in terms of getting it a bit twisted in terms of what Karen Carney said, for me was still disrespectful, in terms of COVID, suggesting that we got promoted because of COVID. Considering the effects COVID's had on the city of Leeds itself, it's been hit pretty much harder than most of the UK. And obviously, we lost Norman, COVID and that lot. I just thought that was quite poor. I think you can make the point about burnout without having to bring a pandemic into the argument. But as I've said, I think it's a misjudgment of both, Karen Carney's punditry. Again, very good pundit, as I said last night. It's a misjudgment. I think it's a misjudgment of the Leeds Twitter as well. Neither people are bad people. That's what's being hinted by, the blue tick Twitter. They're not bad people. They made a mistake. It was a piece of misjudgment of both parties.
Yeah.
And I think the real villains of this are the people who are making, the sexist abuse. On Twitter, they are the villains in this, and that's what I think is getting a bit ignored. Really, I think Leeds Twitter, to be fair, the Twitter account, yes, I can't deny that's obviously played a big part in it, but the real villains in this are the people making tweeting the sexist abuse. It's that's just my the take on it. It's just not a very it's nothing's good at all can come out of this. It's just it's just a learning thing, really. I think obviously Leeds Twitter, whether we've got to I think everyone loves the account. Wilson, absolute legend of a man. Yeah. We all know he's a good person. We all know. There's no doubt in my mind that when they put the tweet out, that they didn't foresee that what was going to happen.
No, of course
there's no way they'd have done it otherwise. And that for me, look, if it happens again, fair enough, but it won't do. I can't see it happening again. And I guess maybe I'm biased. I don't know, but I don't think.
No, I think
or Leeds Twitter is the Leeds United Twitter account is the villain in this party. To be fair.
Yeah. I think the frustrating thing is obviously Leeds United Twitter shouldn't have to curb what it wants to put out, whether or not you agree if it's professional, whatever, or whether our club Twitter should be doing that's up for debate. But if they choose to do it, I suppose they have a duty of care, but at the same time, they can't be blamed for idiots that are then responding in a misogynistic, sexist way. That's on them, and that. Yeah. But I think what frustrated me the most is that when the same Leeds Twitter account had a go at Paul Merson, had a go at Tim Sherwood, had a go at Gabby Bonlahaw, no one came to their rescue. No one. But as soon as it was a woman, you had Rio Ferdinand, you had all these blue tick media journalists from The Athletic, wherever you want to be, coming in and wading in support of her, which in actual fact, for me, has an adverse effect, because what it's saying is that because she's a woman, she then can't be... Exactly. So then now, anyone is thinking, oh, God, we better not say it because she's a woman, which then has the adverse effect, because surely, Elena... You want to be...
For me, I want to be equal,
same.
not... Yeah, I don't want to be treated... Like, if you disagree with me, I'll argue with you to the ends of the earth. That don't bother me. Like, I don't want you to have to hold back just because I'm a woman. Like, I want to be treated the same. I've got the same view as... Like, I watch the same game as you. You don't need to hold back just because I'm a woman, or I shouldn't have to feel you're disagreeing with me because I'm a woman. So, yeah, I do get that.
Yeah, of course. Great.
Can I just say, I feel like a problem here that people are ignoring is that as soon as this post was made by Leeds, the first thing that came into people's minds is, well, you know, she's going to be abused for this now. But for some reason, people identified Leeds tweeting it as the problem, rather than the fact that we are living under the assumption that this person is just going to get abused for having an opinion.
True.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous that, like, fair enough, the Leeds admin team, whatever it is, they have a duty of care, a duty of responsibility, and maybe they kind of didn't follow that. But we should never be in a position where we are expecting people to abuse a woman for having an opinion. And just to follow on from one of Oscar's points there, it was a valid point phrased in the complete wrong way. What she was talking about was the whole Bielsa burnout discussion. She didn't have to mention COVID, and maybe if she had said the gap in the season helped out or something like that, it wouldn't have been taken in the same way. So I feel like, even looking at it from a Tottenham fan point of view, we know how similar Pochettino's style of football was to Bielsa's, and like they did almost everything the same way, because Pochettino, you know, Bielsa was his idol. And Tottenham fans, we know all too well about the burnout at the end of the season. So I feel like it was a very, very valid point, but it was just phrased in a complete wrong way. And I feel like the blame needs to go on the people who have responded with abusive messages, rather than Leeds, and they're just having their say on it.
Yeah, definitely. Because I also had a go at Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, because you can actually hear him as well saying, "Yeah, 100%, you're spot on." Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are just wishing that maybe it was Jimmy that was clipped up as opposed to Karen. So then, just to see the difference, but with hindsight, who knows? But yeah, we've had a super chat just come in from Samuel, who just says, Leeds didn't encourage it, so they are not responsible. If you can't make fun of dumb things just because a woman says it, then, you know, you are in a really bad place. And I think that's the point that Matt was saying as well. It doesn't matter who said it, it's more the society that we're in. I guess Robert Swift says social media is full of idiots who will use this to have their fun. That can't be helped. Need to look at actual point being made. Bad choices. Fair enough. That's all we'll say on that matter for now. I just wanted to get you know, some neutral opinions, I guess, and it's great to have a lady, a woman on as well, giving her opinion. But let's talk about Tottenham. It was only a couple of games ago where you've played Liverpool, and everyone was talking about a title charge, and this is, you know, could this be Tottenham's year? Listen, I'm a big fan of Mourinho. I know you will say your piece, and I do think, and I've said this on a show with you, Elena, and I've said it on others, I do think Tottenham will end up with silverware this season. It won't be the league. I don't think it was ever going to be the league, if we're being totally honest, but I do think you will end up with silverware at the end of the season. But talk to me, Elena, about Tottenham. What's happened, I guess, since that late Firmino goal? What do you think's happened? Are the wheels falling off?
What's happened is that Kane and Son are not superhuman, and they can't just perform all the time. That's basically what's happened. Now, I don't disagree that Mourinho will probably be the only manager to get us silverware this season. I do agree with that, but I don't think he's sustainable long term. I don't think the way he plays football is a long term thing. I think it's very 90-minute man. That is coming from, like, cup games. It's brilliant. He treats every game as a cup game, in my opinion. The league, it's not going to get us too far in the league. Like, for me, if we win a League Cup and we end up like 6th or 7th or 8th, that's not a successful season for me, because a League Cup is not going to elevate the club to the point where a Champions League will. Like, yes, we got over the line, but I think, personally, I think that we need to do the League Cup, get a cup over the line, and then look for another manager next season. Because I genuinely, hand on heart, don't think the way he plays football is sustainable. We're relying on 2 men to carry our whole team. and they cannot do that. Like, Kane gets a stat pad injury for 3 months every season. Like, it's just, you're burning him out. By March, he'll be burnt out if he's doing all these jobs around the pitch and, like, no one's helping him. Kane will be burnt out. Son will be burnt out. Like, we're not, I don't know, we're not even looking to, like, put on our other, like, striker. Okay, he might have COVID now, so he might be out, but he was on the bench against Palace. Against Leicester, sorry. He was on the bench and he put on Winks 2-0 down. Now, if anyone can understand why he's done this, please tell me. Because, like, I just don't understand. There is no intent to win a game with Mourinho. It is all try not to lose the game, not try win. And I don't like my team to look scared of playing everybody. We are scared to go play Palace. We are scared to play Leicester at home. That is not Tottenham. That is not the Tottenham that I support. That is a different team because Tottenham are not scared. Like, from what we've always had, from Redknapp to even AVB, where before he went to sideways passing, it was always a bit more intent. Pochettino, again, very much, we take the game to you. We have the team to take games to them. We act like we have Andy Carroll up top, not Harry Kane. Hit and hope long, hope he gets it down and scores a goal. For me, that is not using our attacker's strengths. That is my problem with Jose Mourinho.
I love that.
I'm a fan of Jose Mourinho.
I'm fed up. I'm fed up of wanting to sleep and check the score at the end of the game. Genuinely, I sit to myself and I think, why am I watching this? If all I care about is the result, then I might as well just check the score at the end of the game. Because I don't enjoy watching my team.
See, this is the thing, and this is why Elena's great to have on, and it's a great opinion because this is why we're so lucky as Leeds United fans right now. Because yes, we might get spanked by Man United 6-2. We might get spanked on Saturday, if I'm being totally honest. But we will have a go, and we will create.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I enjoy watching Leeds. I enjoy watching Leeds better than I enjoy watching Tottenham right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I get it because, you know, with the style that we adopt, and obviously then we go spank teams like West Brom 5-0 and you know, Newcastle 5-2, etc. But Matt, do you agree with Elena that if you were to win a trophy and not get Champions League football, to let's say, do you agree that would be a poor season by Tottenham's standards?
Well, yeah, no, it would, because at the end of the day, what we want is progress. You know, we know we're not the team that's going to win the Premier League and the Champions League every single season. So what we need to do is build up to a position where we can be in that, because with the ambition the club has, with the players that we have, the potential that we have, you know, we could end up being that sort of team. And it was kind of my main worry when Jose Mourinho was brought in, because what Pochettino was doing was building a project, and he just kind of finished the first 5 years of his project. He was going into his second wind in that. And we brought in Jose Mourinho, and even though I think his transfer strategy has been getting in experienced winners, it's not long term. It's not the word Elena used, sustainable. It's not. And we now have him and the stadium and some players that can attract big signings, but the Champions League is the next step to that, because like our main target for January is Marcel Sabitzer, but he's in the round of 16 of the Champions League with RB Leipzig. So like, when you think about it, why would he join us? And I think it's the Leeds fans are in for a real treat here, because you can see right down the split opinion down the Spurs fan base. And I back Mourinho. I 100% do back him. And I know where the frustration is coming from. Believe me, I do get frustrated. I think Jose Mourinho will be the man to bring success to this club. I think he'll bring us trophies. I think he'll bring us the joy that we've been looking for, but he's not perfect. And in the last 2 weeks, he's gotten every big decision wrong, in my opinion. And, you know, when we're playing Manchester City, when we're playing Arsenal, playing Chelsea, our defensive football is going to work, as it did when we catching teams in the counter-attack. And as you were saying before the stream, Joe, when we're winning, it's absolutely perfect. We're all happy about it. But the problem is then when we're going into games against Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Wolves on Sunday, getting an early goal is almost the worst thing that could happen to us, because it gives us the license to sit back and try and counterattack teams then. And it hasn't been working in recent weeks, because Kane, Son, Højbjerg, all our best players are absolutely exhausted. And it comes back to what Elena was saying about the 90-minute thing with Jose Mourinho. He said it after almost every single game. His players are starting to say it now. All we care about is the next 90 minutes. And that's all well and good. You want to go out and you want to win the next game. It's a proven philosophy that could work. But in a season as congested as this is, you need to think long term. Because he played Kane for 90 minutes in a Carabao Cup quarter-final against Stoke when we had Wolves the next Sunday, and Kane was already looking tired. So in that regard, it's just not sustainable. But as far as the defensive football goes, I think if we had gone out and played free-flowing, expansive football against Wolves, I think we get beaten 2, 3, 4 goals. Because at the end of the day, if you have a front four of Daniel Podence, Adama Traore, Pedro Neto and Fabio Silva running at a defence of Eric Dyer and Ben Davis, I mean, there's only one outcome there. Like, they're going to score goals catching us in the counter-attack. But what I feel Mourinho got wrong is he didn't find the balance between keeping us kind of shut at the back and also having that threat on the transition, which is what we've had in months gone by. You know, it was Heung-min Son was dropping back into the Harry Kane role, essentially. And when Son is pumping the ball forward to a fatigued Harry Kane, absolutely nothing is going to happen. We're not going to be able to create anything from that. And that, I think, is the biggest problem where we've been. His substitutes have been abysmal. You know, as you're touching on there, Winks coming on 2-0 down against Leicester. It's a really strange one. And it's because the results are now kind of fading away, even though the performances as in our style of play have been the same. This has given the fans the license to kind of come out and criticize Jose Mourinho. And I fully respect them, like the people who do have those opinions. You know, they're entitled to that opinion. If they feel that's right, that's right. But where I'm coming from is Jose Mourinho is a more successful manager than our football club has been in its history. He has more major trophies than Tottenham, and he's proven it works in England. So I feel like we have to give him the time and the license to prove that.
We're not a small club. No one's bigger than my club. I don't care what you want.
We're not a small club.
Win something with me. I don't give a shit. I'm telling you, I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to worship the ground he walks on just because he won one of my biggest rivals a league. I don't care. Like, I don't care.
It's not just
Chelsea. I don't care. For me, I'm sorry, we didn't have a shot after the 21st minute against Wolves. That is not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That's not sitting back because we're going to get attacked. That is doing nothing. Every one of his subs are negative. He took Ndombele off to put on Sissoko. So we defend. It's not even counter-attacking. It's defensive. There's a big difference. So I don't care what you want at other clubs. If I don't see it happening here, I don't care. Wherever your CV is, I'll rip it up. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying, though. He needs to find this balance between keeping us shut at the back and being effective on the transition, which he did so perfectly a couple of months ago, but it's what we're struggling with now. And again, I was saying it before the stream, the best way I can describe it is defensively, in open play, Tottenham are the best defensive unit in the Premier League. And that's not opinion, that is fact. We've conceded 5 goals from open play all season, 2 of which have been own goals. But similarly to Leeds, set pieces is where we're let down. We've conceded 10 goals from penalties and set pieces. And what that says to me is, as a defensive unit, we are solid, we are compact, and we know what we are doing. But when we get to set pieces and all of a sudden there's a reliance on individual players, we cannot cope. And that is where we're being let down. So what I'm looking at with Jose Mourinho is he has made this Tottenham team, the team itself is greater than the sum of the individual parts. There aren't many managers who could get Tottenham to, we were top of the table for a month, which I know is very easy to forget. But there aren't many styles of play and managers that I think could get us into this position. And again, there's so many comparisons between Tottenham and Leeds, because there's this debate that I think will rage on in football forever. You know, is the better manager the one that can play his own style of football and go out and beat any other team, or is it the manager that can adapt based on the team they're playing and be effective then? And, you know, Bielsa is one of those where he'll play his own style of football and he gets called naive, but I fully respect it. You know, the nerve that Bielsa had to have to go out and play that football against United, you know, in hindsight, it didn't work, but you have to respect it. Jose Mourinho is being a bit different about this, and he's kind of adapting against Wolves. Like I said, if we played attacking football, Adama Traore would have ripped us a new one. But when we played the likes of Fulham, I think if that game had gone ahead tonight, we would have played attacking football. So to continue that example, against Leeds, I think we're going to, I wouldn't say park the bus, but we're going to stay compact, we're going to defend and try to get you on the transition, which, if it works, Tottenham fans all of a sudden will be happy about it again.
I just want to point out, against West Brom, we didn't exactly play attacking football. We scored in like the 80th minute. So I think we do have the team to take games to them. And just because we won that game 1-0, it's not sustainable to play that way. So no one goes out into a game thinking, yes, let's score in the 80th minute. No, that's not okay. I don't want to go for a draw and then hope to score in the last second. So against West Brom, that didn't put me much hope that we would do anything different against Fulham, by the way.
I would compare that to, sorry, I don't want to talk all about Tottenham in this.
No, do it, man. I'm loving this. I'm just trying to get the popcorn. You're not just watching with the popcorn.
I'm popcorn over there, to be fair.
I'd compare that West Brom game to the Burnley game, where we also scored a late winner.
I just don't think it's sustainable. I know what you're going to say about the Burnley game. I don't think it's sustainable. You can't expect to play like that against Fulham and think, yeah, that's great. We sat there for 80 minutes and had 2 shots and scored 1 goal.
But I think Fulham are a different proposition to them, because with West Brom and Burnley, you know, they're solid defensive units. They're, you know, that kind of typical dig in and try and get your 0-0 draw. And I think Mourinho approached those in a very clever way, in that he made us sit back. Now, we didn't park the bus by any means. We did try to create things. Unfortunately, it didn't come off. You know, it wasn't our best period of the season, but we kind of sat back and we gave them a bit of confidence. And all of a sudden, with 15, 20 minutes to go, West Brom, Burnley, they started coming out and attacking us. Against Burnley, Mourinho, straight away when he saw them coming out, he put in Ndombele between the lines and completely changed that game. And for the last 15 minutes, Burnley couldn't deal with us.
You know
and Ndombele was picking up really clever spaces.
Vinny coming on. But no, because he's going to get a bit of attacking. Didn't do that against the Palace, did he? Didn't do that against Leicester, did he? God forbid we attack a bit more. The West... Oh, stop.
I think injuries are a concern at the moment.
Yes,
no, look,
but
like
he was
I said,
on the bench against Leicester. So
no, like I said, Mourinho has made massive mistakes in the last couple of weeks. I can't defend what he's done in the last couple of weeks. You know, he's cost us games, but it's a style of play that has been proven to work. And people are saying, "Oh, it's proven to work at Chelsea in 05," but it worked for the first couple of months of us for this season.
We're not playing Chelsea. We have Harry Kane and Son Heung-min, and we're playing like we've got Andy Carroll up top. I am not okay with this.
But would you not argue that this is a style of play that suits Son and Kane?
I don't care what he's won with this style of play at other clubs. I really don't.
No, I'm saying, do you not think this is a style of play that suits? But does it not suit Harry Kane and Son? Because Kane dropping deep and Son running in behind the line.
Is it suiting him now? No, right? Just because they were on ridiculous fire before doesn't mean it's going to carry on all season. This is not sustainable. You can't think, yes, this is what's going to win us a trophy this season. No, he needs to adapt. Yes, the only trophy he's got a chance in is the League Cup because there's only 2 games left. He needs to adapt. He can't adapt. Everyone's saying he's an adapted manager. No, he's not. He's got one style. And when there's no plan B, when we concede there is no plan B, I'll go back to how you started the game. No. Why did we stop for 80 minutes? Why did we stop attacking after the first minute? Why did we stop? No. It's just there is no, he doesn't adapt. He plays one way and then hopes to keep it, ride it out, and then attack when it goes back square. No, not okay. We are not scared.
Do you know though, Matt? You know, we've got some great questions coming in. I want to get Oscar's opinion on what's been said as well, but we've got some great questions coming in from some Tottenham fans and Leeds fans, so we'll get them to you as well. But Matt, you quickly mentioned there, it's not working because they're tired. So at which point will they be? I guess you're lucky. I guess you could look now the fact that the Fulham game isn't on, that they might get a bit of respite and be back to fighting fit come Saturday.
Yeah, no, I think so. Like I said after the Wolves game on Sunday, the first thing I said when that game was over, I do not want to see Harry Kane on the pitch on Wednesday, and I don't want to see Hojbjerg on the pitch because they're tired. Like they're only human. They can't play the amount of games that they're being demanded to play. And again, it comes back to that 90-minute thing. You know, we need to look a bit more long term than the very next game. But like, if you look at the way we were playing earlier in the season, look what we did to Manchester United. Look what we did to Southampton, who have been 2 of the strongest teams in the league this season. When you're looking at Kane and Son being, I think they're 1 goal away from being the most clinical duo in a single Premier League season. They have 12, and I think it was 2 of the Blackburn players in '95 combined for 13 goals that season. So Kane and Son are 1 goal off that. And if you're looking at the entire Premier League era, they're the 2nd most clinical duo. Drogba and Lampard combined for 36 goals. Kane and Son combined for 32. They complement each other's games so well. And like it was working so well earlier in the season when they were fit, when they were firing. Kane is fitter at the start of the season than I've ever seen him before. You know, every season the last 2 or 3 years, he's had his injuries or he's looked fatigued towards the end of the year. Earlier in this season, he was the best I've ever seen him. And look at how well it was working with Son and him running in behind, Kane dropping deep, playing a 50, 60-yard ball, Son scoring. You know, it's not completely sustainable. We've overperformed our expected goals, I think, more than any other team in the league. So it's not entirely sustainable, but we do have more than just parking the bus, getting an early goal, parking the bus and hoping to win the game. It's just, and I think every team is in a similar situation. Everyone is tired. Look at Chelsea. Look at how strongly they started the season. Look at like Liverpool getting 8 days off, but still unable to break down West Brom more than once. It's affecting the majority of teams right now. And I feel if this season had started a month earlier, like it should have, and if it was just a regular season, I think Tottenham would be a lot more effective at this stage than we are right now.
Nice. Oscar, what's your opinion on what's been said? It's quite interesting because we seem to have brought on 2 guests that are actually at the opposite ends of the spectrum, which is absolutely brilliant, to be fair.
No Spurs fan has the guts to cuss Mourinho the way I do.
That's why we got you on, you see. I knew you'd be gold. Oscar, what's your opinion?
I mean, look, I always sit on the fence, but I can genuinely see both sides of it. You know, Elena, Matt, I can see exactly both sides of the argument. But what I would say is, when you play the way Jose Mourinho plays, you've got to win. You've got to win trophies. You've got to be winning you've got to be winning a lot of games of football, and that's the thing. But for me, look, watching Spurs play this season, I've watched them a couple of times, to be fair. They seem to, at the start of the season, have gone from one extreme to the other. At the start of the season, I think you beat Southampton 5-2, Man United 6-1. I know obviously Man United went down to 10 men, but you were 4-1 up before by that time. And you were playing unbelievable stuff. West Ham, you went 3-0 up and obviously finished 3-3. It seems ever since that game, Mourinho saw that game and thought, ooh, I tell you what, maybe we can't play this way. But what I will say is, at that stage of the season, that was when I was looking at Tottenham and thinking, this is really good to watch. I've never seen a Mourinho team so open and expansive, and Son scoring 4 in the game, Kane's getting 4 assists. It's the link-up play is fantastic, and it's just really good to watch. But I mean, you look at it now, the way Tottenham are playing, and it's quite rare for me this, but I'd have to disagree a little bit with Matt in terms of, is this the style most suited to Tottenham? I look at Ndombele. I think Ndombele, he's playing totally out of position. I'm looking at him. Is he playing number 10? Does he suit playing number 10? Should he play a bit deeper so we can progress play, a bit more like a box-to-box player?
Mm-hmm.
Does he need to go with Sissoko and Højbjerg? Does he need to, Sissoko's a good player, but for me, I look at Højbjerg and Ndombele, especially when Spurs are chasing a game, because he put those two there. Dele Alli in the team, Lo Celso ahead of them. I think there's so much attacking talent in this Tottenham team that it's pretty poor, in all honesty, that Kane and Son have scored 80% of their goals this season. However, defensively, I mean, with Eric Dyer, no disrespect to Eric Dyer, but with Eric Dyer, Ben Davis, Aurier, the job he's doing with Aurier is just unbelievable. I watched him play against Man City. It was like watching Cafu in his prime. The way he handled Sterling. I was thinking, this is the same player I was watching, under Pochettino kind of thing. But defensively, you know what Mourinho is going to get the team organised, in terms of, conceding 5 goals from open play. But I don't know, I look at it at the moment and think, there's too much pressure on Son and Kane. And I think, to be fair, I saw a comment before in saying that you look at Marcus Rashford under Mourinho compared to Marcus Rashford now in that sense. And could you see, as much as Kane and Son are doing unbelievable things, if Spurs played a little bit more expansively, would you see even more goals from Son? Would you see even more goals from Kane? If they weren't just playing on the counter-attack and, trying to hit teams in transition. But I still think Tottenham will win a trophy. I think they've still got a very good chance of top 4, mainly because the rest of the top 6 and top 7's in a mess. Chelsea can't buy a win. Leicester are inconsistent. Arsenal are just Arsenal. It's not really. I'm not really looking at any other team and thinking they're going to really push Tottenham for the top 4. So I still think they'll get top 4. It might not be great to watch. And I think you'll win a trophy. I think you'll win the Europa League or the FA Cup, because that's what, or the League Cup, because that's what Mourinho does everywhere he goes. But long term, there is not a chance Mourinho will still be in that job for me in 18 months to 2 years' time. Something will happen. It will go. They've got to win the trophies in this period now. This is the time where Tottenham have got to be trying to push for league titles. They've got to be winning the big trophies. They've got to be in the Champions League, because Daniel Levy and Jose Mourinho are 2 big personalities. They're very good at what they do, but they're 2 big personalities. And in 18 months to 2 years' time, if Daniel Levy is not giving Mourinho the players he wants, and that's quite possible, it's quite possible. Spurs have made a couple of signings to the last couple of windows and that. Obviously, Ndombele, what does he cost? About 70 million for Ndombele. There's no magic money tree there for Tottenham at the minute. The new stadium as well. They've got to win trophies in this period, and that's what Mourinho's been brought in to do. Yeah, I think he will do it, but for me, I'm looking at it and thinking, will he leave Tottenham in a better place than where he started the job? I'm not sure. I look at it. Yeah. I just look long term. I'm looking at Pochettino potentially going to PSG, and I'm thinking to myself, did Tottenham jump the gun too soon? Should they give Pochettino more time? And I look at it now and think, I don't know. And the thing is as well, Leeds United, a newly promoted team, have scored more goals than Tottenham, and you've got Son and Kane. That's hard to defend for me.
What I would say on that point about that style of play not being the best suited to us. If you want to look at, we have dropped points against Crystal Palace that we shouldn't have, points against Newcastle, points against West Ham, points against Liverpool. If you look at all of those games, the reason we drop points is individual errors, and you cannot blame a manager for that. you can't, no matter what way he's playing, you can't you can't blame him for Bergwijn missing those chances against Liverpool, for Lloris dropping that free kick against Palace.
One of your best performances.
It's very understandable against Liverpool. Don't understand it against Palace and Leicester.
I thought you were outstanding in that game against Liverpool. I thought you
were.
brilliant.
I think brilliant. You can't
that's
fall
an
into
Mourinho
that.
masterclass for me. That game just were really unlucky.
I agree.
I
would
agree.
As much as I praise him, I can also criticize him. If it's a Mourinho masterclass, then it's also a Mourinho disaster class when it doesn't work. It's not always the players when it doesn't work, and then it's him when it works. This is what annoys me about the Tottenham fan base. The minute it's him, it's a masterclass, it's brilliant. But then the minute that it's like, we lose, it's all the players. It's always an individual error. No, look at the bigger picture. Forget the reason why we just conceded. Look at the way we just approached that whole game since we scored. Palace, we were all over them until we got the goal. We get the goal and then we sit back. I'm sorry, yes, as soon as we conceded, we then went forward and we should have scored. I agree with that. But I cannot deny that whole 60-minute period was a bit worrying. There is no way that you can deny that. Like, you thought, oh yeah, we that was brilliantly played. We conceded and then we went for it. So I don't believe that we were pegged back. I don't care what he says in his post-match press conferences, because he says we were pegged back. We couldn't do anything. Funnily enough, when we conceded, Mourinho, we suddenly looked like we were able to score for 8 minutes. So how are we that pegged back? Like, I agree that Ndombele is not playing where he should be playing. He's a box-to-box. He's a typical Dembele player. He gives me Dembele vibes, and we're not using him as that.
We used him as that last year, though, and it didn't work. He had one of the worst seasons of his career, and he's been playing more attacking now, and all of a sudden he's the player we expected.
Well,
and
we're taking him off whenever we need him. So I don't understand. There is literally, it's not fitness now. There is no way it's fitness now. Taking him off at half-time, that was tactical. Taking him off at 1-0 was tactical. I do not care. Some Tottenham fans, honestly, it baffles me how much they defend the guy. Like, he's allowed to take criticism. It's okay. Like, it's okay. He's allowed to have make bad decisions. He's not the Messiah. Like, I feel like
he's not Bielsa. He's not Bielsa, because Bielsa's the Messiah. Bielsa is the Messiah.
I love him. But I just mean, like, with our players, we should not have to rely on our defensive work. Funnily enough, some teams, yes, their best players are defenders. Our best players seem to be attackers, but we don't play like they are. So, and I always say we need our midfield to chip in with more goals. We can't just have 2 goal scorers. Like, we need 10 to 15 goals within that midfield. Couple from our fullbacks, not a lot, 2 or 3 from our fullbacks a season, and a couple from your set pieces from your defenders, like corners and stuff. But we need more players to score more goals. If they're sitting in their own half for 90 minutes, Lo Celso isn't going to get that many goals, and Ndombele isn't going to get that many goals. I feel like, yes, they have messed up. Lo Celso needs to do more. I agree. But I also think where they're playing and the way they've been played doesn't help the situation. Like, they need to be playing a bit more attacking to get more goals. That is what I feel. Yes, against some teams it works. Liverpool was a brilliant performance. City, brilliant. Arsenal, I can even understand, even though Arsenal... Anyway, but I don't need to get into that. But yeah, like, it was a brilliant performance. But I do think against some teams, we can take the game to them and we can really show our attacking attributes. But against you lot, it might be the best option to play counter-attacking because you play so open.
Yeah.
So I can understand if we do it against Leeds. But I also, again, think that against some teams, we should be able to take the game to them, and we don't do that.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. And so do you agree what, like, the Irish Id saying, in that, it seems to be the general rhetoric that the players are the problem. They're the ones that are letting him down. It's individual errors that are letting Mourinho on. The same players are letting...
Look at players like Eric Dyer, Aurier. As good as Mourinho has done a job of them, they're still going to make mistakes. They're still going to make mistakes over the season. They're not players who you can kind of say they're going to win us. They're going to win the league title. They're going to make mistakes in that lot. And I think obviously you've got to look at Mourinho's going to be talking to Dyer. There's no way Mourinho, if he had the budget he had at Chelsea, would have Eric Dyer playing at centre back. I don't mean to pick on the poor Eric Dyer, but or Aurier at right back. There's no way you would have that. I was surprised when he signed Doherty, to be fair, because Doherty for me is not a good right back in the back 4. He was a wing back.
He needs a back 3.
Well, mate, yeah, maybe you go to that, the back 3. It's but for me, I think the perfect balance would be if you had Pochettino coaching the team on the ball and Mourinho coaching the team off the ball. That'd be a perfect balance, wouldn't it? I mean, it's But I don't know.
think that
Crazy,
our
really.
assistant is supposed to give a bit more, so it is supposed to have, like, Sacramento is supposed to do that. Like, he's supposed to give a bit more attacking, and then Mourinho be the defensive, like, coach more. But he doesn't seem to be doing anything, so I don't know. But I think there is times where it works, and I have been like eating my words. But there are also times where he deserves criticism because he doesn't have a plan B, and he needs a plan B. He's this master tactician. You telling me you can't find a plan B? Not having it.
I think.
I love
Matt.
this. It makes me feel so much more confident going into this game now.
Matt, do you think, though, right? I guess, is this the perfect game for Tottenham to get their mojo back on Saturday against a Leeds United side that are going to come at them from minute one, are going to leave spaces in behind for the likes of Kane to pop that ball over the top for Son? I've been dreading this game for weeks, regardless of Tottenham's form. I genuinely have. Oscar will tell you. I've been mentioning Son running at Dallas and ailing in that channel and just thinking, oh, God, no. So is this the perfect game for Tottenham to get their mojo back, do you think?
I think it's a good game where we can win, but I don't think it's a good game to get our mojo back, because it takes more than one win to really turn around some form. And I know, like, I've been on some of your streams criticising Leeds' midfield, especially in that game against West Ham, which was virtually non-existent. And I think if you approach this game in a similar manner, the amount of space that is going to be in there for Harry Kane could cost you a number of goals. Now that they've had that week rest and stuff. But I wouldn't be too confident about one result turning Tottenham's form or turning Tottenham's season around. I think we still have a lot of work to do to kind of get back to the level we were at, and I think some investment is needed in the January transfer window in order to make that happen. If it is going to be Marcel Sabitzer or Milan Skriniar or whatever it is, I think we do need to bring some players in, not only to kind of inject a fresh attitude into the team, but to offer some competition to the players that are there and offer us a bit more depth. When we're missing players like, Gareth Bale is injured, Lucas Moura and Carlos Vinicius, I think they're having a COVID scare. Giovanni Lo Celso is out injured now as well. So I think we do need to add a bit more to that squad and give us the ability to rotate a bit more as well. But in terms of getting our mojo back, I think we have a bit more work to do after this game against Leeds.
Those two players are Mourinho players, Sabitzer, Skriniar, certainly from what I've seen of them, Sabitzer's just box to box, pure energy and just can play anywhere. I think that's what Mourinho likes, players that can play anywhere. But I think the thing is, you're not actually that far off the top four. I was looking at the table now. It's not actually as bad as what I thought it was, to be fair. I think obviously, a couple of wins and all of a sudden you're kind of second and third again. And I think the race is so open this season that I can't see Tottenham not finishing fourth under Mourinho. I think as much as it's not going to be great to watch second half of the season, I still think obviously I won't be looking at sacking Mourinho at this stage. I certainly say, you've got to let him have the season for me, because I think he will win you a trophy ultimately. I'm not whether it's the League Cup, Europa League. I think when you've got Kane and Son and you just leave. The thing is, I think any team with Son in this form, who for me is probably been the best player in the league so far this season. I think there's a couple of people you could put in there, but I think Son certainly is the one that you look at and think, wow, he's just like gone. He's always had that potential, but he's kind of got to kind of like Mane levels now on the left wing, really, and he's consistently getting goals. But I think when you've got that and a solid defence, you've got the fundamentals to win the cup games and one-off games. You just need a Son moment of magic, a Kane moment of magic, and keep it tight at the back. But I don't know if this approach can win Tottenham a league even next season. If you buy all these, if you spend 100 million, we've seen it at Man United. He won. He still, I know as much as he got mocked for his time at Man United, but he still won the Europa League, a League Cup, and loads of, to be fair, more trophies than any manager I think they've had since Ferguson left. So his time was still okay. But
they also gave him 400 million.
That's the thing, and he's never ever got them close.
Elena wants him gone,
It'll be the same.
She hates him. She wants him gone.
No, not now. As I said, he can win us a trophy, but long term he needs to go.
Yeah, of course.
But now it's a short term fix to a long term problem. It's Jose Mourinho. He's here to paper over the cracks, get us the silverware, but then after that, it's not a long term fix. You need someone to come in and actually do the job that we need to be done, and that isn't going to be quick because we don't give managers the right funds. He ain't going to get a 400, 500 million at Tottenham to win a league next season. it's a slow process with Spurs. And yes, we thought we had a squad, but our squad is not as good as we thought, as we can see in the Europa. So
Absolutely.
realistically, he needs a lot of like money put in to make that team title winning. So it's going to be a slow process. I don't think he's going to stick around for that. So I think overall we need a different manager. I'll use the word different. A different manager to take us further in the long term. For the short term, he can win us something, that's great. But I do get worried in the position he will leave us in. But win us a trophy, forget all that, win us a trophy, and then next season we'll think about what we want. But it does depend on what he wins as well. Because if he wins the Europa, then I'll have a lot of respect, because that is a long competition. And he, you know, we don't have a great squad. It's how he deals with injuries. If Kane gets injured, if Son gets injured, and we still get through, then they come back and we win it. Okay, cool. That's brilliant. Like I cannot fault that. But if it's just the League Cup and then we're finishing just about scraping fourth, then we need to look at what we're going to do next season, season after, because he's a very short-term man. He bought Gareth Bale, older player. Like we have no like long-term project here. So Oliver Skip comes back, he looks great, but I don't know if Mourinho's the manager for him. I'm looking forward to like winning something, and then after that is my problem. But right now, I just think, the league is not going to happen playing this football, because it's just not sustainable for the league.
Yeah, great shot. You mentioned Skip there. Matt, do you know much about Jack Clark? Have you seen anything of Jack Clark at all at Tottenham?
I love Jack Clark when he's getting started at Leeds. Like I had an interest in Leeds when they were in the Championship, and I know it was that kind of thing that happened in my sideline was against Middlesbrough, and his kind of his form started to dip since then. And I was delighted when Tottenham signed him, and a bit upset when he was put straight out on loan. But from what I've seen from him in our team, he's played a bit in the Europa League. He's looked positive. You know, no one's expecting him to come on and score 2 goals in every game he plays. But he's looked confident. He's looked positive. He's had some good appearances for under 23 team as well. He scored a great winner against Liverpool last week, the week before. So he's definitely a positive, confident player for the future. And when he's in training every week with the likes of Gareth Bale and Heung-min Son, I think it can only do him the world of good.
Oh, good. It's nice to see it, because from a Leeds United fan perspective, we just feel like we've had Tottenham's pants down with the amount you paid for him and the fact that he hasn't featured at all. So yeah, but so he's doing all right. Oh, that's good to hear, man.
I'm a bit sentimental. I'm like, oh, he's sweet. That's what I need to like get rid of, because I want to keep everyone. They're like my little children.
Except Josie. But Giancarlo makes a good point. Our friend Giancarlo Oscar, form or no form, our record in London is woeful. We just do not win in the capital. When was the last time we won in the capital? It was QPR, wasn't it?
QPR, when Ruth scored the hat trick. So we're talking
3.5
years ago.
Yeah, 3.5 years ago. We just do not win in London. Honestly, it's brutal.
Just wait till you go to the Emirates, you'll be fine.
Yeah, don't worry. You got a certified win there. I'm telling you right now.
Can I say, actually, just jumping back to Oscar, the point you were making about how kind of close the league table is. It's crazy to think we only have one more win in the league than Arsenal do this season. Like it's crazy how things are. We've 7 wins, they have 6. It's baffling.
That's not a good stat.
Game, anyway.
That is not a good stat, is it? That's
no.
You want the team Mourinho. That's not a good stat to bring up, Matt.
Not saying,
I'll keep it off my own channel.
What I could say is, with Mourinho, if I was a Tottenham fan, I would still much rather have a manager like Jose Mourinho than Solskjaer, Lampard. Managers that
but you're
you just
saying
don't
them
see
two
where they're going.
names.
With Tottenham, you can clearly see what you're trying to do. You're trying to keep it tight at the back and hit teams on the counter. Lampard, Solskjaer, it's just basically throw as many superstars on the pitch at once and hope it works.
Right.
With Solskjaer at the moment, it's working brilliantly. I'm hearing all this stuff about 21s on download, Manchester United and winning the league and all this lot. But Chelsea was the same 4 weeks ago. And then they've just fallen off a cliff like we knew they would do. They'll go in great form again, and that's the way it's going to be. It's been like that for 18 months with Solskjaer, for 18 months with Lampard. They're not going anywhere, really. It's just, I think Marcelo even mentioned it in the comments there before. They're not actually going anywhere. They're just getting these good results, just about enough to keep them, in jobs almost. But for me, Mourinho will definitely win a trophy for me before Lampard and Solskjaer does. And he'll win more trophies at Tottenham than Lampard.
Arteta's even done it before him, so I wouldn't put too much
Arteta,
money
yeah,
on
won the
it.
trophy before them too.
Guys, is there anyone from a Leeds United perspective, obviously the game on Saturday, is there anyone that you look at and think, oh, we need to be worried about, from a Leeds perspective?
Rafinha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm terrified of him.
Bamford? I can't say his name properly.
Yeah, Bamford. Yeah.
He's fit, right? He's still playing.
Yeah, all good to go. Yeah, he's been on fire.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I mean, yes, you create so many chances for him, and I get that, but he does score quite a lot of goals. Yeah, I get that you're not as clinical. If you were clinical, it could be scary because you don't create so many chances. But I think he's a good goal scorer. So
yeah, good. And what were you saying about Rafinha, Matt?
I love him. I absolutely love him. I remember watching when you were playing Everton, I think earlier in the season. Was that the game he scored the winner against Everton?
I remember that.
Even before he scored the goal, like his decision making in the final third, his ability to pick out a pass, he could take on any man. He always makes, a lot of the time he makes the right decision. And I was already worried about him. Then I saw what he did last night, and I'm now even more worried about him. So if we've Ben Davies playing left back, I think we could be in trouble. But if Reguilon is there, I think he might be able to do a job on him.
So do you think Reguilon will play then, or will we have Ben Davies?
No, I think it'll be Reguilon personally.
Is there any big misses from the Tottenham camp for the weekend?
Lo Celso, I suppose, is the main one. We have Eric Lamela back, which is a massive bonus for us. He's kind of the only player that's been able to kind of play consistently out on our right-hand side. But we're missing Bale, Lo Celso, Vinicius, and Lucas Moura. I'd say Lo Celso is the only one of those that could probably influence the game in some way that won't be available.
And how do you expect Jose to? I know we already know, but just how do you expect him to take on the game on Saturday? How do you expect him to? I'd sell Winks for an Amazon gift card. Use the player. Talk to us about Harry Winks.
I always say if Winks supports us, he should just never play for us again. If he supports us, he should never play for us again.
Imagine that.
2 Harry Winks winner from 30 yards.
Sometimes he does stuff like that, like he did in the Europa, and I was like, that's definitely a cross, but I have to drop the agenda for that. I mean, a terrible cross turned into a great goal. So it was so off target. If that was supposed to be a cross, wow. It really was. In terms of approaching the game, I think we will approach it very counter-attacking. If we actually counter-attack, not one shot and then. I mean,
are we losing her there, or is that just me?
Oh, I think so.
Well, we've lost her just as she was giving us some. Oh, she's back. Are you back?
I froze. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I froze. I don't know why. Where was I?
I think you're back. Are you back with us, Elena?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I think in terms of like approaching the game, we haven't been like really counter-attacking much, but I feel like against you lot, you will be so open. I feel like we can. I don't mind counter-attacking football. I think that's still more exciting than what we have been doing, which is just defending. We're doing nothing. We don't have a shot after how long, and then like we just sit back. I want to actually find the space and make the counter-attacks. But like against you lot, it could be end to end. I feel like you will come attack us. We could end up just being straight back in your box like instantly. So I think we'll approach it very counter-attacking, but I think that's probably a good way to approach it because that is the way you will play. You will give us the probably. Do you know what he probably is? But yeah, I think we will play very counter-attacking. I think that could be pretty successful for us though. I think that could work against you lot because you will leave space. It doesn't work against teams like Leicester that play the same game as us because they it was like you have the ball, no you have the ball, no you have the ball. It doesn't really work. But against you lot, I think it will because we'll let you have the ball and then we'll just hit you. So I think And
do you agree with that, Matt? Do you fully expect that to be the case?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd actually be if he went with something else in this game. I think we do have to kind of weather the storm a bit and try and catch you out at the back because the attacking football you play. If United can catch you in the counter attack, I think anybody can. So that could be a good way for us to find the 3 points in this one.
Yeah, cool. And what's your score prediction then, Matt? Give us a score prediction.
I hate this bit.
Yeah, I do as well. I'm going to go with the 2-1 win to Spurs. because I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. You know, you might score from a corner or something like that, but
I'm
going to go 2-1.
We won't, man. We gash at them. Although we did score one against Man United, I suppose. So yeah. But no, we have been getting better at them. To be fair, we have been getting better at them.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, 2-1. Elena, what about yourself?
I'm gonna go 3-2 because I feel like it's gonna be very end to end. So I think 3-2 to us. But I do think even if it's like 2-2 for a long time, I feel like you will leave space and we will eventually get the winner.
Yeah. And Oscar, come on then, give me some confidence, mate. Because look, as a Leeds United fan, I'm looking at this. It's a free hit. I'll never not back Leeds United, but if you could give me a point now, I'd snap your hands off. For a point. But yeah, look, the London curse and all that jazz. It's got to end eventually. Can it end against Tottenham on Saturday, mate?
I mean, the mad thing is, if we win this game, we go level on points with Tottenham.
Wow. That would be
That is just absolutely insane. That sums up how good we've been so far this season. So, look, I know the Man United game, you look at Rashford and Fernandes, it's the same dynamic, and probably Son and Kane's even better than Rashford and Fernandes for me at the minute in terms of goals. I mean, whenever Son gets on the ball, I will have to look the other way because he knows something's going to happen. He knows something's going to happen. He's just absolutely lethal at this moment in time. Is he top scorer, guys? Is he top scorer?
Salah's top scorer. Yeah, Kane or Son is 2 behind.
2 behind, okay.
And then Bamford's just one behind. One behind. Then
right,
yeah.
Not bad.
That's the thing, looking at it and thinking, that's like, and that's what all it's all about, stopping them getting the ball into human Son. We've just got to stop that. And obviously, Ndombele really good at, in terms of when we're trying to high press Tottenham, he can just dribble out of it with ease. He's such a good player to watch as well. And Ndombele, and it's those three really, the real players you look at and think, when those three combine, it's tough times really, and it's interesting in that sense. But I think the big thing for us is what we had against West Brom was control. We had control against West Brom from minute 1 to 90, and against Tottenham, we know we'll have a lot of the ball on Saturday, and it's not arrogant to say that. Mourinho will sit back. We'll have a lot of the ball on Saturday. It's about being dangerous with it more than anything, and nothing stupid. Not giving Son or Kane anything. Just don't give them anything on the counter attack. No sloppy passes. No anything. It's all about that.
Yeah, that's what we'll step up on. Sloppy passes and stuff.
Mistakes, and that's what unfortunately, Elena and Matt, we have that tendency against West Ham, another team that kind of playing a similar way to Tottenham. Counter-attack after counter-attack after counter-attack. We kept giving the ball away. We couldn't get any string 2 passes together. And, and that's the thing. But for me, I mean, seeing that West Brom game, the first half against Burnley, similar intensity to that. And I think we can genuinely cause problems for Tottenham. But they're a tough team. I mean, I think they lost, is it 3 games? 3 games you lost all season. I mean, only Liverpool and City, have lost more than that. So it's still a tough team to beat, And if we get a point, it's a fantastic result.
It's huge. It's huge, mate, especially on the back of 6 points, definitely, 7 points out of the last 3 would be absolutely huge. I just hope that the Leeds United players don't get overawed by the occasion like they did against Man United. I know we don't have a rivalry in the same respect, but what I'm saying is turning up, brand new stadium, looking round, you've got the likes of Son, Kane lining up, and you're thinking, oh God, we just need to like you said, not cut out. It's because all Mourinho's going to do is just wait and set traps, wait for them mistakes, and then bam, away you go. And then and it could get lethal. It could, but I'm saying this out loud, so I'm preparing myself just in case it does, because it easily could. No, these are the things with Beelzebub. It could easily happen. And everyone will be saying he needs to change his style again and forget about the 6 goals we've just scored in the last 2, having conceded 0. That's football. It's fickle, especially in the media. 1 minute you're the best thing since sliced bread. The next minute you need to, your manager needs to get sacked and you need to change your style. But yeah, so hopefully we can make a good account of ourselves. Listen, I'll never not back Leeds, and I'm going to say we win the game 2-1. But that's really through gritted teeth. But honestly, this has probably been the best opposition pre-match chat we've ever done. The numbers have been decent, and a lot of people have enjoyed the guests tonight. So I'm absolutely over the moon for that. I'm really grateful for both of them coming on. Elena, where can we find you? Anyone who hasn't seen you before, where can they find you? They'll definitely be coming out to check your post-match chat, I'd imagine, after your rounds. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LilyWhite_TV, just at the bottom. I'm on YouTube at LilyWhiteTV, no underscore, and Instagram LilyWhite_TV.
Cool. Make sure you check out Lena out. Like you say, she's not shy for coming forward. I've done a few things with her now. She's brilliant, brilliant content. So make sure you check it out. And Matt, Mr. Stato, where can we find you, my man?
Yeah, my YouTube is Matt Hayes Tottenham just as it's written down there, and my Twitter is at Matt Hayes THFC. So I do actually tweet a lot about Leeds because I enjoy watching them. So maybe some people will be interested.
And I love your manager, so we do.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We've got that Pochettino Bielsa vibe going on as well. There's a lot of love. I think a lot of Leeds fans are hopeful that one day Poch might rock up at Ellen Road, if we're being honest.
I think it'll happen.
Yeah, well, it would be amazing if it did.
I think Messi will sign for Leeds as well, to be fair.
Brilliant. Will you be doing anything for the game, or either of you?
Do you go ahead, Elena?
I just watch games with my dad, so I'll be watching the game with him, having him shout in my ear most of the time. I'm normally the calm one. Can you imagine him?
Oh, wow.
I'm the one that actually tries to calm him down. And I'll be doing a video straight after it, like a reaction.
Cool. Post-match. And Matt, will you be doing a watch-along or anything? Or
No, I was going to do a watch-along, but I've work on Saturday. I have the pleasure of collecting data on the EFL games. But I'll be doing a live match review at 8 o'clock on Saturday evening. I hope you'll be joining me, Joe.
Oh, yeah. Damn, I told you you'd need to remind me, didn't I? Yeah. I should be with Matt, actually, at 8 o'clock. I'll just think, I'm sure I'm supposed to be doing that. So, yeah, no, cool. I'll get that smashed out on the socials as well. So make sure you check both Matt and Elena out. Oscar, from our perspective, mate, we'll be doing our live joint pre-match tomorrow. We've got our little show before the whistle blows on Friday, which looks at the games over the weekend. And then Saturday will be game day, and we'll have our watch-along and post-match and player ratings out. So keep it locked to All Leeds TV as per. If you've liked what you've seen, please smash a like on the video on the way out. And if you're not already, that little subscribe button, smash that. We're nearly at 20k. It's free to do it, so just smash it. Help us get to 20k. Have an amazing rest of the week. And I'll see you in a bit. This is the awkward bit where we have to end the stream now and I'll just wave like